So I want to do this thing where I run through possible commits because Lincoln Riley tweeted 3 sets of eyes, his subtweet to commitments, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today I want to run through some possible recruits on official visits, honestly, that might have committed to Oklahoma. So reporting over at OUinsider.com to check out which side of the ball, which class, but I'm just going to go ahead and say 2020. Look, don't really know what to expect here, but we do know that these official visitors came through, and I mean, you check some crystal balls, right? But let me just run through them instead of just hemming and hawing. Look, Javian Hester is going to announce his commitment on Thursday at a pep rally at Booker T. He has listed suitors that he is looking at, and one of them is not Oklahoma. As a matter of fact, I wrote them down because the big one was Mizzou being in there. Garrett McGee is recruiting him, and he's the wide receivers coach at Missouri. And for those of you that know, Garrett McGee came to Oklahoma, played a little quarterback, also out of Booker T in Tulsa. So keep an eye on that for sure. He's down to Texas, Mizzou, Nebraska, and Georgia. Top 247 wide receiver right there, Javian Hester. All right. So the first one that I want to run through is 2020 4-star offensive lineman Anton Harrison. Anton is a 6'5", 329-pound tackle out of D.C., Archbishop Carroll in there. His offer list includes, of course, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Michigan, and Penn State, among others. He was an official for the Houston game. Big deal there. So Brian Doan has the great analysis and evaluation. I kind of want to just run through those right quick. Good frame, but must reshape his body. Has linked to be an offensive tackle. Athletic and able to get to the second level. Physical and aggressive, quick feet. Able to move well laterally. Strong, accurate initial punch. Once engaged, stays on a block. Overall strength is good. Plays with power. Needs to work on knee bend since he bends at the waist too much. Has to improve leverage at point of attack in the run game. Needs to sink his hips. More consistency. Multi-year starter at a top 20 program. We also know that the offensive line played really well against Houston. I know that folks thought there were some question marks with 4 new starters. I think those questions were answered. Bill Beanbo does this, guys. I mean, 300-yard passer, 354 yards rushing. Look, if you don't want to play for Bill Beanbo, that's fine, but you should know that the folks that are playing for Bill Beanbo are really, really good. All right. 2024 star linebacker, outside linebacker, edge guy, Philip Webb took an official to OU. He's 6'4", 210-pound outside backer out of Lanier High in Beaufort, Georgia. Most folks think he's a Clemson lean, if that tells you anything. Barton Simmons on the eval here. Long athlete that is still relatively underdeveloped physically, has growth potential. Remember, he's 6'4", 210. Plays in a stand-up pass rush role where he screams off the edge in high school, right? Shows outstanding game speed, closes quickly in the backfield, can change direction and space effectively, more physical than you think, and strong enough to disregard chip blocks and running back one-on-one pass rush situations. Has some instincts to bat down passes, doesn't show a lot of versatility on tape, needs to add weight, show he can do more than sprint off the edge. Impact power, 5-star with 5 impact power 5 starter ran together with potential to develop into a mid to early round NFL draft pick. So Philip Webb is a project, but if Brent Venables wants him and he's been offered by Venables, I would assume he could play at Oklahoma as well. All right, he took an official. 2020 4-star Aaryn Parks, 6'4", 320 pounds, out of National Christian Academy in Fort Washington, Maryland. Projects to offensive guard with offers from, of course, OU, Penn State, and Bama, among others. Brian Doan again on the eval here. Good length and shoulder width, has to reshape his body. Best suited for guard, but has the length for right tackle. Powerful in the lower body, athletic and physical, fires off well at snap, gets to the second level, drives legs when engaged, patient and pass pro, and strong initial punch, accurate hand placement with purpose, Good body control, usually plays with balance, stays engaged on blocks, can chip with an engaged defender, has to work laterally, move his feet quickly, must sink his hips with more consistency, could be a multi-year starter at a high level, Power 5, should hear his name called late in the NFL draft. Again, offensive linemen really aren't that polished coming out of high school. They usually need at least a year to develop. Take a look at 5-star Bray Walker and how we really want to see him. And he is still redshirted his freshman year and still haven't seen him. But given some time, Bill Bedenbaugh likes what he sees, obviously, because he offered the kid and they really want him. And this offensive line group in the 2020 class quietly could be very, very good. Remember, Andrew Raym is already committed, and he might be the most polished guy in that entire class. 2023 star athlete Ramon Henderson. He is a very interesting prospect. 6'2", 183 pounds, out of Liberty High in Bakersfield, California. Has offers from UCLA, Fresno State, and Notre Dame. But there's a flip here, and I'm going to get to it. Henderson is an intriguing two-way prospect. This is Brandon Huffman on the eval, who has the top-end speed and hands to be an elite playmaking receiver, but the ball skills to be a cover cornerback. Creates separation and consistently gets behind the defender, but needs to be consistent in his route running defensively. Has the length and speed to recover and cover all types of receivers, but still raw in his technique. An accomplished 100-meter and 200-meter runner, sprinter, ran a 10:59 as a junior. That's flying. Projects as a multi-year Power 5 starter and projects as a third-day NFL draft selection. Henderson is being offered at DB at Oklahoma, but his comp, according to Huffman, is Josh Doctson. Remember, Josh Doctson was a monster wide receiver at TCU. So whatever you want to do to try to get Henderson in the boat, I think you should do it. I'm really high on him. I really like his tape. I think he could be a really great corner. I also think he knows what kind of wide receivers are at Oklahoma. But just from a raw ability standpoint, I really like him. It's just a question of whether or not he would play safety or corner. And Huffman obviously thinks he projects to corner, and we know how much Grinch and Manning really love and want big, long, rangy cornerbacks to play at Oklahoma in the future. Okay, last guy that we need to talk about, 2023 star edge rusher Noah Arinze. Arinze is 6'5.5" and 240 pounds. He's a nuisance off the edge. Comes out of Webster Groves in St. Louis. Ronnie Perkins, anybody? Didn't go to Webster Groves, but out of St. Louis. Holds offers from Arizona State, Indiana, and Illinois, among others. Alan Treyu on the eval here. Has ideal length for the position, big wingspan, and a natural big frame. Went from skinnier to now more filled out. Showed that he can easily add the weight. He's athletic. He runs well for a kid his size. Closes well in pursuit and covers a lot of ground. Plays with a good motor. Bends well enough to get leverage or turn the corner despite being a taller kid. Technique has improved, but he is still developing. Can be more violent with his hands. Develop some good to great pass rush moves. Once his counters and technique becomes second nature, he will be able to capitalize on his big upside. Should keep getting bigger and could be a 5-tech in college. May need time to develop, but has all the tools for a Power 5 starter. I think that this is a natural 5 technique that could develop into a 3 technique because it's 6'5", growing into 6'6", 240 pounds. It's not hard to see him blowing up to around 280 and being a monster, just going after guards, just making just life hell for offensive guards and centers in the middle. And we know how much Grinch really loves to have these guys that can be tweeners at the 3 technique, the 2-eye, and even out to the 5-eye if they have that kind of speed. It seems Arinze does. He's been a guy that's been looking at Oklahoma pretty hard along with A.J. Parks for a very long time. All right, that is it for me. Doses.